All right. Can you all see that okay? So today we're going to go through the exercise of mentor mapping. I won't ask you if you've gone through this process before, because I know you're both trying to keep your video off and such. So basically to give you a quick idea of what this looks like, the purpose of this exercise is threefold. It's to basically map your current monitor or your current mentoring network. So where you are being supported and by who. I think it's also useful to take note of, like, if you have one person in a lot of places, if you're sort of like leaning on them a lot, which is not necessarily a bad thing, just something to take note of. And then other people that could maybe like fill multiple spots, but you're only using them for sort of one type of feedback or support. By mapping your current mentoring network, you can also begin to identify your unmet needs. So basically different areas where you might want to seek out mentoring, and then particularly for the mentees today. So for you, Zoe, we're going to try to help you identify to then identify exactly how we could help fill those needs. And so ideally what we'll start to see here is ways in which our mentoring networks can overlap, and that we can, as mentors, can not only just support you through our own interactions, but also connect you to other people who can offer support. So basically what I've done is I've tweaked these mentoring maps that were originally from the, I'm forgetting the acronym now. Oh, it's on the slide, great. National Center for Faculty Development and Diversity. And so I've tried to make the categories here a little bit more applicable to undergraduate and graduate students. So you'll notice this slide has mentees at the bottom, and the following slide has mentors. In a moment, I'm going to share a PDF with you that has both of those slides. And so you're then able to kind of go through and fill them out. If you want, I know that some of these titles are more straightforward than others. And so I'm also going to share the link to the National Center for Faculty Development and Diversity website, which basically has a description of all of these different roles and what kind of person would be filling them and what they would do. That being said, I have changed the name of a couple of them, so I'm just going to run through that quickly. And so for mentees, I created this section called application reviewers. And so here I really want to just kind of make sure that you're aware of like all of the facilities available on campus that could, look through your CV and provide feedback, or look through your job applications and provide feedback, or like point you in the direction of job boards that you might be looking for, or general writing help on campus, just kind of to identify what resources you have available to you. So that's what this section is for. And then down here, letter writers, I think is often very relevant for when you graduate and you go on to your next step. You want somebody to speak to your academic abilities or research capabilities, or just generally how you are to work with. And so identifying a handful of people who are likely represented somewhere else on here as well, but that you could start to very intentionally cultivate those letter writer relationships with them. For our mentors, this one is sort of like halfway between the undergraduates and the faculty. And so again, I've kept the letter writer section for this one, but for application reviewers, I think it's good to know sort of what we have available on campus, but also who sort of in our departments and colleagues that would be willing to kind of look over those application materials. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for now, and I'm going to quickly put some of those links in here. So this is the link to the NCFDD website. And so that has the description of all of the other names. And then you also need the link Can I share files on here? Yes. Mhm. Okay, hopefully that file works for you as well. And so now you should have a file of the actual mentor maps and a link to the website where they originally come from. Okay, cool. So yeah, the breakdown, now that you have those, actually, I can share my screen again, or I can also just put this into the chat box here, which is that ideally we'll probably spend the first 20 minutes or so just doing the actual sort of mapping your current network, spend about 10 minutes identifying whatever unmet needs there are in your mentor network. And the remainder of the time will be spent figuring out exactly how to fill those unmet needs. If the mapping exercise takes less than that, great. You know, most of us wants to be focused on how we really build that mentoring network for you. I'm going to stop recording now just because I think that's probably all of the relevant info